Right, hello everyone, and yeah, again, we are back. It's One Hub Precision Tier, Season 17, Round 3 of the Hungarian Grand Prix, Part 3, hopefully the final part, and yeah, we join, just as a safety car has been deployed, Casper retired from the race, and we do have a safety car as a result of now, which we thought was going to work in Verheinen's favour quite perfectly, because he could serve his penalty, and everything would be fine, but, and he obviously take new tyres, but, he's now pitted again, so that's dropped him outside the points. That's quite bizarre.
Yeah, some reason it's still sitting at 11 laps soft tyres on, so he's lost off massively. So it's going to be very hard for him to get points. Somehow Tom Robbo is now in the points, but he's going to be under pressure by the guys on the softs. And Nosey is now up into second. Kean's going to be very annoyed, to be honest, because he's made his first 2 pit stops and he's made another one now to make sure he's on the softs. So Fletcher is looking very good, but anything could happen with his last few laps.
That's it, and it's going to be a real test now for those that have stayed, those aren't on new softs, the likes of Tom, Chris and Riley, to see how they can fend off those on fresh softs. But yeah, it looks like the game's cost Verheyen on that one then, obviously putting him on old soft tyres, which it's a real shame for him because he was looking at a great haul of points. And I have to say the sort of top end of the field now is looking a bit more like what we've seen in previous races, but certainly in Verheinen's case that's due to bad luck more than anything else.
I kind of feel sorry for Riley. He's on 11 lap old mediums and he's got a load of people with fresh tyres even right behind him, so we'll be trying to see how long he can keep those guys behind. We shouldn't see the safety car coming in for another lap, probably the end of lap 28, so we can probably have 6-7 laps of mayhem, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and the thing for Tom as well is that he can't just rely on basically, I don't know, it's not holding people I suppose, but defending to the cars behind, because he does have a penalty. All the drivers, with the exception of Jonas, only have 3 seconds worth of penalties. Jonas has 9 seconds. So it's very slim margins in it, but with how close it is, Tom's going to need to hope he's got some superhuman pace on those medium tyres, otherwise, even if he finishes 3rd or 4th, he may drop a few positions at the end. So those who haven't got penalties, certainly it's looking at the moment, like I'd say, like Jay Fletcher, Knowlesy and maybe Kean are probably your favourites for the win right now.
Yeah, I think Fletcher is looking good. To be honest, he deserves to win. He's taken the lead right from the start, and he's just stayed there and just kept it clean and all that. It's at the pace as well. Whatever anybody else has been trying to do, he's matched them. So if he wins the race, he fully deserves it, in my opinion.
Yep. And quickly before we get back underway to restart, thank you as well to Vespertine, who are supporting our prizes this season. And oh no, that's another penalty that might get. I might go to the stewards, that one, the safety car collision for penalty for Farf, but nevertheless, that's not ideal for him, and hopefully neither car has damage. It would suggest, with the fact that it was with Okeke, that it was probably Okeke that hit the back of Farf, so hopefully Okeke doesn't sustain any damage from that. But yeah, McLaren in particular looking at a massive haul of points here, but still a few laps to go and expect chaos, and Jay Fletcher's handled this race perfectly so far, but this is undoubtedly the most pressurised situation he's been in yet. How will he take this restart, and how will he deal with his final 7 laps? It's up to him now when he wants to go. He probably wants to try and catch the McLaren off guard if he possibly can, and obviously get those tyres up to decent temperature, and off he goes. And I have to say, I think he's caught the McLaren napping there, and in fact Tom Robbo might have an opportunity to take 2nd place. Coming down into turn 1, is he going to get the inside line? He's not quite got a straight line speed, but he's going to go for it into turn 1. Has he got the confidence on the brakes on those medium tyres? They're still alongside each other going down to turn 2. This is not what Knowlesy wanted. He wanted to have been attacking, not defending, but Tom Robbo going for an audacious move around the outside of turn 2, but it's just not enough grip for him out there. But for Jay Fletcher, that's perfect, because rather than looking in front of him, Knowlesy's got his mirrors full of that racing point.
Yeah, Fletcher's already hit got out of DRS, and Knowles' teammate has already got past the Ferrari. He's all over the back now of Robbo, so Robbo's going to have to try and defend now. He's now in a McLaren sandwich.
Yeah, not what Tom Robbo would have wanted. And further down the order, it looks like Okeke has had an off. He's dropped to the back of the field, so a real disaster for him. Both Renaults on quite old medium tyres, and it's going to be a tough final few laps from both of them. But yeah, Kian's job now will be to almost not only attack the racing point, but it's almost going to help his teammate in a way, because he won't have to concern himself with Tom as much. But yeah, Kian, that's absolutely ideal, getting up to 4th place, and now you can see Tom just is unable to keep up with Knowlesy. So now it's all going to be about trying to fend off Kian for 3rd place. The good bit of news for Tom is that behind Kian we've got a couple of medium tyre runners, so this may be the only car he has to defend from. As we've got Scorpion down the inside of Riley. I don't know if there's a bit of contact there. Joined it pretty much as it was happening. Actually, nearly 3 wide there, as it looked like Nick wanted to join in as well. They're going side by side through turn 2 once more. Who's going to get the better run? They're still going through turn 3. This is incredible racing. There's a bit of contact, but it looks like they got away with it, and Riley keeps the position going into that corner. Riley's doing an incredible job, but there's contact, and I think the Scorpion put Riley into a spin. He managed to lift off, but it's cost Riley big time. We've got another traffic jam heading through these corners now. I saw some full wing fly up there. I don't know who that's off, but that's a disaster for Riley. Thankfully, he stopped the car in a complete spin, but yeah, Scorpion just hitting the back of him there, perhaps misjudging the amount of grip he had in comparison to Riley.
Well, I did say before the safety car coming in, how long was Riley going to keep all these guys back, because he's already on 14 old tyres, mediums, but luckily he's not spun it, but DRS is now enabled, and Robbie's keeping Kian nicely behind, but Fletcher already with a 2-second gap. It is really his race to lose. But McLaren, if they get 2nd and 3rd today, that's going to be great for them for the Constructors' Championship.
Yeah, they haven't had the most ideal of starts. I mean, Knowlesy's had a pretty decent start, but yeah, they're not flying high near the top of the Constructors at the moment, but this will definitely push them in the right direction towards that. And we've got Kajman and Verheyen going side by side. Ooh, through turn 3, Verheyen picks up a penalty. I think he almost decided he had to take a bit of grass there to avoid contact, but he's paid the price in the way of a penalty. So yeah, Verheyen really struggling, and we've got more contact, and that's Favre. That's Favre who's gone round. And oh, it's a disaster for him. He's not collected any points so far this season, and for all the world it looks like he was going to get off the mark here today, but a bit of contact there. It looks like maybe with Riley, I think. And yeah, that's put him down to 15th, and that's going to be his race probably ruined from there. Oh, that's a real shame for Favre.
Yeah, that's such a shame for him, because he qualified very well right at the end of qualifying when he got dry. And he was looking good in P3 for quite a while until, trying to remember what happened, but I feel sorry for him. And hopefully we'll get his first points very, very soon. But Kian still can't get past Tom Robert, but he doesn't really need to either. He must know that Robert's got a penalty, and there's quite a bit of a gap behind, so he can just happily sit behind the racing point.
Yeah, and based off what we've seen, I would argue probably Knowlesy maybe has a slight edge on pace, so Kian probably recognises with the gap as well, but he's 3rd is probably the best he's going to get here, and he doesn't actually need to take any big risks overtaking Tom. I don't know how much Kian has seen of Tom today, but Tom's not been afraid to battle, so I think for Kian's sake, maybe just slotting him behind might be the way to go here. Of course, one of the advantages of F1 in recent months on the game is, of course, you can see the penalties on the left-hand side of your screen for other drivers, and I don't know, sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it can be a distraction, but I think in Kian's case, it's definitely a help for him.
Yeah, I to be honest, I really like it, because I had a massive break from playing F1, and when I realised that was the thing, that really helped me out, because it kind of puts in my mind to push or to back off when Riley gets a 3-second penalty. But we've only a couple of laps to go. Like I said, Fletcher's looking good. Everybody's a little bit strung out. There's a few people together. I'm surprised Schnitzler's all the way back to the 11th as well, because he was right up there earlier on as well. Got
Nick going around the outside of turn 1, and he actually got the move done in the braking zone very late on the brakes there, using those soft tyres to best effect, and Nick moves up to 5th place. And we've got a yellow flag in sector 1. That is Verheyen. Verheyen's had more troubles by the looks of it, and he's recovering from the grass. Looks like on the exit of turn 1, and he's actually retired from the race. And just like Favre, who's also now retired, it's 2 drivers who were looking good for a lot of points here tonight, and it's just gone wrong for them today. That's a real shame for Verheyen, and he'll look back on that bad call from his Red Bull pit crew to put him on old softs. I think there'll be some harsh words in that garage later.
Yeah, I feel so sorry for him. If that never happened, he would have not been involved in that midfield battle in the first place. He would have been, you know, right in second place. So I do feel sorry for him, but I'm sure as well for him, his luck will turn around hopefully next week.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely shown enough this week to suggest that he'll start picking up some good results in races to come. Obviously next week we're at Abu Dhabi, so we'll see how he gets on. There, but it looks like now, like the closest battle we've got. I mean, we have got a battle for 10th between Catboy Key, Rimpey and Jonas. This is quite... It must be quite weird at this point for Rimpey, but he's actually doing some attacking.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Look at the Red Bull
Jonas is
going
to try and take them, both of them, 3 wide into turn 1. Jonas, did he go too wide there? I think he did. So he's not got the move done just yet. In fact, Rimpey's going to have the higher ground, but Jonas trying to hang it out. He's locked up. I thought for a second there might be contact, but Jonas managed to just about avoid it. But yeah, Catboy Key loses 2 places in the space of a few corners, and Jonas is desperately looking for a way round that AlphaTauri. But there's not enough room going into turn 4, so he has to keep him behind for now. But oh no, there's contact! Oh, it's a disaster.
River hit the inside curb and the Red Bull had nowhere to go. That is so unlucky.
Oh, it's a real shame. That's Jonas must have been thinking, you know, I've got most of the hard work done here. Just in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's no fault attached to either driver, it's just one of those things. But yeah, Jonas really innocent in that he had nowhere to go.
Yeah, it's that horrible inside curb, you touch it, your car's going sideways, and then the Red Bull was just so close to him, he just couldn't avoid him. So yeah, it was just a racing instant, sadly.
Are we going to see a change in position between the 2 Ferraris on the final lap? We've got Scorpion quite close behind Chris on the soft tyres, but maybe just starting to lose the edge from those soft tyres now. And Chris stays far enough in front for now. Obviously, with them being teammates, I imagine they're probably a little more generous to each other than others would be. So I wonder if they'll just settle in formation 6th and 7th. It's a good result for Ferrari, all things considered. And to be fair to Tom, I believe he still only has the 1 penalty. I'm to check that. Yeah, he does. So he's actually only going to drop 1 place there. So it's looking good for a double podium for McLaren. But I have to say that Jay Fletcher's just been the star of the show today.
He has been. Like, Robbo's had his ups and downs, you know, from 20th to 4th. That's still a great result. But yeah, for me, Fletcher's done nothing wrong. He started 3rd, got himself up to 1st in the first corner, and has controlled this race ever since. He's not made 1 single mistake.
So Jay Fletcher around the final corner then, and he's going to take the win here at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Well deserved. He wins. Knowlesy will take 2nd, and Kian should, when penalties come into effect, take 3rd. Although I have to say, Tom Robbo gave it some on that final lap. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3. I don't know what that was all about, but yeah, Kajman's got a penalty, so will he drop down a few positions, I wonder? Let's just have a look. I think he'll only drop to 9th due to the carnage that ensued behind. Catboy Key will take 10th, and I'm guessing Jonas and Rimpey have just decided to stay out with the damage they've got, because they probably lose less time that way. So Jonas takes 11th, and I suppose at least for these two, as Rimpey comes across the line to take 11th in front of Jonas, I suppose at least for these two, despite that unlucky collision, they both still get something out of it in the end.
Yeah, they've got some points at the end of the day. It's yeah, what a race. Lots of action today in this race. Lots of overtaking, lots of incidents. Yeah, Fletcher kept on the track. No problems at all. But yeah, we've got to say, Robbo, he was a bit impatient at times, but still, he gets a 4th place from start at the back. So I'd be very happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's important for him to pick up good points in days like this where things didn't quite go his way, certainly not in qualifying. So yeah, good recovery for Tom, you know, and he showed excellent pace, and he's undoubtedly going to be a big championship contender in the races to come, and that's a good damage limitation for him. But yeah, Jay Fletcher celebrates on the top step of the podium. He's going to come right into the thick of things now at the top of the championship, as indeed is Knowlesy in 2nd, and McLaren could be very much near the top of the constructors as well. There's a lot of great drives out there today. I have to say, we'll just have a quick check of the results. The provisional results, of course, we we do have the stewards, which might impact the results in the end. But our provisional results, we've got Jay Fletcher with a win and the fastest lap to boot. Knowlesy in second, Kian in third, Tom Robbo in fourth, Nick in fifth, Chris in sixth, Scorpion in seventh, Schnitzel in eighth, Kajman ninth, Catboy Key in 10th, Rimpe in 11th, Jonas collects a final point in 12th, and then we've got Riley in 13th, who I believe will get the fastest lap point outside the top 10, so that's good for him. So he does get something out of the race after quite an eventful race from his perspective. Okeke is the final finisher in 14th, and then you got Verheyen and Farf, who are still classified despite not finishing. You got Casper, PB Racing, Hindle, and Rantaro also DNF'd. And of course, before we wrap up the stream, we of course have to nominate a driver of the day and a question to them. I'll let you go first on this one.
Well, I'm going to give Fletcher driver of the day, only because he's just not put a foot wrong. You know, he's controlled the race the whole time. So I am going to ask him, how did he find the conditions at the start when it was a wet track on dry tyres? So that's what I'd like to see. Ask how he coped with that.
Very good. I can't say, and to be honest with you, I probably would have said Jay Fletcher myself as well, but seeing as I do have to nominate somebody else, this has probably not been done very often, but I'm actually going to nominate someone who didn't technically finish the race. I'm actually going to nominate Verheyen, and my question to him will be, despite obviously the pit mix-up, how much confidence are you going to take from your performance here tonight, even if the result wasn't quite what you wanted in the end? So, yeah, those are our driver of the day and those are our questions. I think that's pretty much everything for this evening. A massive thank you to Craig for joining me tonight, and obviously you didn't have the prep that you would have wanted, so under the circumstances I think you did very well. So, and I'm looking forward to commentating with you for the rest of the season.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it as well. I want to give a shout out to Nick as well. I realised he started 16th and finished 5th today, so he had a very good drive as well. Good solid points for McLaren and Mercedes tonight.
Yeah, and he's a one-hub legend, as we know, so yeah, great job from Nick as well. Many drivers came through the back, and he certainly went under the radar, but got some very good points in 5th as well. So yeah, well done to everybody today. Apologies about the stream. Hopefully next week will be a lot better from that point of view. But yeah, from Craig and from myself, it's goodbye, and we'll catch you on the flip side.